Good girl. You're such a cute little puppy. Let's work on Xhala a little bit. Let's see what she remembers. We haven't done this in a couple days. Sit. Good girl. Yes. Good girl. Lay down. Yes. Good girl. Good girl. I love the way she like lays completely down. Usually when Erie does this, she'll just kind of do like a half laying down, just like barely, and jumps back up. Heel. Oh, this one she might not remember. Heel. Yes, good girl, good girl. Sit. Yes, good girl. Heel. Yes, good girl. Good girl. Go to your cage. Yes, good girl, Xhala. Good girl, Xhala. Come on. Lay down. Yes. Lay down. See what my hand's doing? Those are all nice things. Yes, good girl. Good girl. Heel. Yes, good girl. Lay down. Xhala. Lay down. Yes, good girl, good girl. Good girl. You're getting it, you're getting it. Go to your cage. Yes, good girl. Good girl. Where are you? Sit. Yes. She was sitting already, so I was like, might as well say it. So what I'm doing, the way I'm training her, is just very similar to the way that I'm training Erie. Just working multiple commands at the same time. Or not at the same time, but like in one session. And that way it just kind of keeps it a little bit interesting. And I try to go in different orders so she doesn't just like memorize. Just like sit, lay, stay, whatever. So I just kind of mix it up. And I'm using yes is like a keyword instead of a clicker. Just because I tried to use a clicker with Erie, but then I kept losing it and stuff. I'm like, whatever. So I find that just saying yes, or a lot of times just snapping my fingers or something like that works the same. With Erie, I snap my fingers a lot. Xhala, I haven't been doing that as much, which I probably should, so I'm consistent with the two of them. But I usually do the snapping the finger to kind of get their attention. But she seems to do a better job of looking at me than Erie did. Lay down. That is not what I said to do. Lay down. See, that's the kind of lay down that Erie likes to do. Good girl. Yes, yes, good girl. And then I give a treat. And I don't say no or anything like that if she does the wrong thing. Let's see. Heel. Yes, good girl. Good girl. I'm using a combination of words and hand signals. Because from what I understand, dogs understand the gestures and stuff better than they do words. So I use both. That way she's learning the word, she's learning the gesture, and then I can use whichever one I want at some point. You know, sometimes I can use gestures without saying anything. Sometimes I just say anything and don't use a gesture. At least for Erie, it works. Xhala, I'm just using both. I haven't really been separating it yet. But it's only been... How long have you been here? I think we might be going on 3 weeks. We got her, I think, on the... I want to say maybe like the 15th, 16th of October. Something like that. It's only the 5th of November. She's coming along pretty good. Still has some accidents. She likes to steal food. Don't you? She's always getting on the furniture, but I've been kind of letting her. You're trying to get in my pocket, aren't you? Lay down. Yes, good girl, good girl. And I try to say yes as soon as she does the right thing. Yes. She didn't actually do anything there, but sometimes I just say yes and get yes and give her a snack till it's associating yes. When I say yes, that means you get a treat. Lay down. Yes, good girl. Go in the cage. Yes, good girl. Good girl. Sit. Yes, good girl. Let's see if she can learn this. Xhala, leave it. Leave it. Okay. Yes, good girl, good girl. Xhala, leave it. Leave it. Yes. Good girl, good girl. Oh, I said the wrong thing. I meant to say okay. Xhala, leave it. Okay. Yes, good girl, good girl, good girl. She seems to be getting this one. I've been teaching her to do that when I feed her. I always make her sit and wait. Leave it. Leave it. Okay. Yes, good girl, good girl. And I always make them wait until they look at me before I say okay. Like, you gotta look at me first. If I remember anyways. Leave it. Okay. Good girl, good girl, good girl. Lay down. Yes, good girl. Leave it. Leave it. I want this. She hasn't had breakfast yet, so that she's actually working for a breakfast. I typically make her work for breakfast and then just feed her. Leave it. Leave it. Okay. Yes, good girl, good girl. Leave it. Leave it. Okay. Good girl, good girl. Sit. Yes, good girl. Go in your cage. Yes, good girl. Come here, Xhala. Yes, good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Go in your cage. Yes, come here, Xhala. Come here. Good girl. Good girl. Go in your cage. Yes, good girl. Come here, Xhala. Come here. Good girl. Yes. And so I just measure out however much food she's going to get for breakfast. And then I stick like half of it in my pocket. And then the other half I leave in the bucket. And then once the food's all gone in my pocket, I'll feed her to the rest just as like a meal typically. Unless I want to work with her some more. Come here, Xhala. Come here. Yes, good girl. Good girl. So she's learning to come. She's learning to go in her cage. She's learning to lay down. Yes, good girl. Good girl, Xhala. She's learning heel. Come this way. Yes, good girl. And I usually put my hand here to stop her because a lot of times she would come too far. She doesn't stop always like right there at my feet. Good girl. Lay down. Yes, good girl. Heel. Yes, good girl. And she doesn't get the treat until she actually sits there. Lay down. Yes, good girl, Xhala. Good girl. Leave it. Leave it. Okay. Yes, good girl. Good girl. You are so good. She's been pretty easy to train. And she's super cute. She doesn't bark much, which is a little bit problematic. We've had visitors. She did not care at all. She just silently sat there. On one hand, it's kind of nice that we don't have another dog going crazy if somebody comes over. On the other hand, you're supposed to be protecting us. You're supposed to guard us. If somebody knocks on the door or is creeping around the house, you gotta let us know. You gotta let us know, puppy. That's your job. Oh, she's so cute. She's so cute. Okay, guys. Yeah, just wanted to show off how good she's doing. Been teaching her a little bit. So, see if she'll sit up for me. Come on, Xhala. Come on. Come on. Good girl. Good girl. Come on, Xhala. Here. Get it. She's trying. She doesn't quite have that yet. Good girl. Yes, yes, yes. But yeah. Cute little baby. Cute little baby. Catch you in the next video.